Alright, here's another video, 2 for today. Alright, so we're going to be talking about bidding on comic books. This is going to be a 25 book lot that I'm going to be submitting to CGC. And these are all going to be pressed, and these are all going to be graded by CGC because they're all modern tier, and I'd rather have them press it. Because it's only going to cost $12 for them to press anyway, and I'm going to be paying the full $12 fee for them, not the $8 quick press. I'd rather them take their time with it and not be cheap with it, and see what I get. But I also want to talk about prices and how maybe you should buy, because some of these, they're not what was advertised, right? I got some of these out of comic book auctions, and like I said before, I like frequenting those auctions because I like hanging out. But the guys that are selling in the auctions, I don't think it's that they want to provide the wrong information. I just don't think that they know how to grade, right? For example, this book was put up as being a near mint book, right? And this is why I always say, never bid what any seller, doesn't matter who it is, even myself, says what the book is. The only time you bid like that is when you have an actual graded book. If you have a graded book, then you bid because that's a professional that graded it, so then you bid accordingly. But when somebody says, oh, it's near mint, or it's a 9.8 candidate, don't go out and you pay a 9.8 or even a 9.6 or even a 9.4 price. So this was said to be in near mint condition, but as you can see, right, and I'm gonna go, the cover actually makes it look a lot better. This is a Mylar cover, but if you could see the book, you see that right there. Now these are Bill Sienkiewicz, and his best run, in my opinion, was on Moon Knight. I mean, he's got some tremendous covers on Moon Knight. His work on Moon Knight is tremendous. I mean, look at that right there. And then they're calling this near mint, right? So when I went, I actually went out and I paid, because there was multiple books in the lot. It was this one, and it was another book that I'm going to show you, Moon Knight 25 was in it. But I ended up paying, treating this like an 8.0, even though they were saying it was near mint. I was trying to see if I can get 8.0 price. And I don't even know that even with a press that I'm going to get an 8.0 on this, mostly because of that. I mean, that's a tear. That's a light tear right on top. So yeah, I guess if it's in the Mylar, it might look like near mint to you, right? But unless you put something that magnifies its flaws, and I haven't even looked at the back of this book yet, but I'm going to send it in. I'll look at the back, though. I will look at the back before I send it in. I just don't want to take it out right now because I only have one free hand. Book itself looks pretty nice, but it's probably less than an 8.0. I'll be lucky to get an 8.0 with a press and a clean. But it was advertised as 9.0. These are more Bill Sienkiewicz covers, and this one's one of his best covers. This one was also said to be in near mint, but as you can tell, it's not near mint. It looks, to the naked eye, if you look at it like this, yeah, you could see, with the shine of the cover and everything, of the plastic, it looks like it could be near mint, but it's not, and then that's why never, ever, on a non-graded book, do you pay a near mint price if somebody's saying it's near mint. You just never do that, go 8.0, and even like that you might get burned. This is another book that might be an 8.0, but because of the cover, I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful cover. They might be generous with me on this. I might be able to get a 9.0 on this, depending on the type of work they end up doing on it. But those are some color breaking stress lines there, and CGC is pretty strict on those, you know. This is the other one. This is the one that came with the Moon Knight #1. Now that one's a pretty nice cover. This one might be near mint. And it's a black cover too. It's another classic Sienkiewicz cover. You know what? This one right here, this one might be worth, it's a might. Nothing's ever guaranteed, guys. Nothing's ever guaranteed, but if you want to get the you know, top dollar for your bid low, you know. Bid as if it's a lot less than what they're saying. This is my search for a 9.8 on the first Vulcan, right? So X-Men Genesis, they made over 100, right around 100,000 of X-Men Genesis, the first print. But this is the variant edition. Now I'm not sure if this was one of 10 or one of 25. I think it was one of 10. I want to say it's one of 10. It could be one of 25, but we're going to go with one of 10. So the first print was close to 100,000 100,000 printed. So if this is one of 10, we're talking about 10,000 in print on this. Now they ended up making a ton of printings on these. So they must have printed over 500,000 of these, because they had a second printing, then they had soft covers and hard covers, and they all sold well. And this was a from X-Men Deadly Genesis. If you remember that, it's from Giant Size X-Men #1, which is a highly coveted book right now. And this is the guy. Well, you got to read the story, but it's a really good story on Vulcan. This is one of my favorite X-Men, or maybe he's not an X-Men, but he's one of my favorite mutants for sure, Vulcan. And he is, no one's looking at this guy. No one is looking at this guy. No one's talking about him. But I want it in a 9.8, and I am sending 3 of these babies, and hopefully I'll get a 9.8 out of these 3. Either way, though, it's out of the Deadly Genesis. If you're looking for a Vulcan first appearance, this is the first appearance that you want to have, not the regular edition, because there's so many of them. And this is the one that's him on the cover. So if you want to talk about cover appearances, this is his cover appearance, right? Gonna be sending this one out as well. This one was actually said to be in very fine when I got it, and they're pretty correct on this. This is probably going to be in very fine condition because of that. Paid a lot for this one, actually. See that right there? That's where you want to kind of like, you want to look at it with a magnifier, and your phone can become that magnifier. See that right there? So that might be just because of those 3 flaws, might be very fine minus because of that. Not a bad looking book though. Beautiful colors. Not a bad looking book. Again, I'm not taking the books out only because I don't have 2 free hands. I only have 1 free hand, and I don't want to cause damage to the books. Next two books I'm going to send are these two. One of these I showed in another, and these are the newsstand copies of X-Men Annual number 14. And like Comic Tom says, as much as it really pissed me off when they do stuff like this, this is Gambit's actual first appearance. Not to say that it's the most collectible appearance, because X-Men 266 is, but this is actually his first appearance, and I'm going to show in another video, and other people have shown it too, why that is. You know, he appears on the story and he gets named as well. This is Nova number 1. Got this from Uncle Roman. Roman Curtis sold me this, and he said it was very fine. And you know what? This is one of the exceptions. Roman says it's very fine. I actually think this is higher than very fine. I will say that that's not color rub, by the way. That is in the plastic, and I checked that before. The book itself is pretty nice. He ended up getting this from MyComicShop.com. By the way, guys, and this is why he said it's very fine, and they are saying it's very fine. All right, so here's a tip when you're buying a book from, and now that I'm seeing this, and this is something that everybody, any collector should know this if you're buying books. If you go on eBay and you see a listing by My Comic Shop, keep this in mind at all times. My Comic Shop will list on eBay. Almost all of their books are going to be listed on eBay. If you see a book that you like from My Comic Shop on eBay, go to their website. Purchase it on their website. You're going to pay less, right? Because they hike up the price on eBay because of the eBay fees. So if they have a book, let's say of like this, the higher the cost of the book, the more your savings will be on MyComicShop.com. If you have a book like this that's going to sell on My Comic Shop for I'm going to say $325, I guarantee you that on eBay it's probably going to be around $365 or $370, you know. So if you see My Comic Shop for $365 on this on eBay, go to MyComicShop.com, and I guarantee you'll probably get it for around $320 to $330. You'll get it for less, and the more the comic is worth, the more your savings is going to be. You know, just something to keep in mind. All right, we're gonna go with this one. These are gonna be 25 books. I'm gonna just try to. This one's actually on near mint. This is another one I got from Roman. It was from that same lot. Roman Curtis grades his books. I'm gonna say it right now. He grades his book very accurately. If anything, he'll probably undergrade. You know, he's one of my favorite sellers actually on the auctions. I don't buy a lot from him only because a lot of the stuff that he has, I actually have already, and a lot of the stuff, most of the stuff that he has is modern, and I'm not too much into the moderns. This one right here I got from a Thunder God, and he said it was near mint, and this baby is near mint for a fact. That can be pressed out right there for sure. I know it can be pressed out. It is definitely not color breaking, but I do like this cover. This is The Boys. This is the first appearance. I got this off of eBay. Ended up getting this for probably about 15 bucks. First appearance of the female and the rest of the boys. Mother's Milk is the first appearance on here too, and I believe I believe Frenchie is his first appearance is in this book as well. By the way, The Boys, this might be the time to pick up Boys 9.8 before that second season shows up on Netflix. I'm sorry, on Netflix, on Prime, on Amazon Prime, because I'm hearing that series is just gonna be crazy. If you like that first series, I'm hearing that this second series is off the chain, as they say in the movies. All right, so this might be the time to get that book, because it's dropped. That book has dropped in value big time. You can probably get that book definitely under $300, probably in the $250 or so range. This is yet another a Canadian variant that I got on this book. I got a whole ton of them. I have some on CGC already getting graded, and in two different consignments, you could say. This one right here, though, I don't know if you can tell, but it has like a crease that goes around the book. If you look at the book, this is another book. Like, if you look at it just in the front, you'd think that this is a near mint book, but it's not. There it is right there. You can see it right there. You see that crease? That crease goes all the way around the book, and that is probably going to bring it down to like a 7, even though it's it looks like it's near mint, but it's not. These are books that I took right off of the newsstand back in the day. Never opened these. I have a few more. Never opened these, though. I ended up putting them together back in the day, but they're still in great condition. I'm gonna have these 2 graded Bane. Like I said before, I'm a big Batman fan. Got this one from J Blitz, and J Blitz, I believe he said this was very fine, or very fine plus. But he did disclose that this had a little bit of a tear on the top, and it does. So as soon as you say like tear, I already know that it's gonna knock it down to probably about an 8.5, depending on the size of the tear. In this case, that tear might bring this book down significantly, probably to a, because it's in the cover, I'm thinking that's not the only issue with it, like this right here. I mean, it is going to get pressed and clean, but there are certain things that the press won't take that out. That's another small tear. This is probably going to end up being a 7.5 to an 8.0 when all is said and done, as good as the book looks. I'll be surprised if I can get a 9 out of that. I hope I get a generous grader, though. Then I have this. This I got from, I think I got this from 8 p.m. Adrian. Adrian's another guy that grades pretty well. Even though I think I got that Moon Knight from him, but I overall I think Adrian grades pretty well. And see this right here, he did say this is near mint, and it certainly does look near mint, except for that corner. But I can probably see this coming back as a 9.4. Might come back a little higher. Despite that little ding on the corner, because that might be production. This might grade a lot higher than what I think. Maybe. I mean, this is a very clean copy. I haven't looked at the back, obviously, but pretty clean copy. Continue with The Boys. As you can see, I'm a big Boys fan. And this is Dynamite's first book with the Boys, number 7. They had 2 covers for this. They had this one with the legend, and then they have another cover Now, if you could see this, this is a Straight Outta Compton cover, right? You could say it's an homage to Straight Outta Compton. The other cover for this, which I've shown in other, I think I've shown it in other videos, is the exact opposite of that. It's what they're looking at, right? I mean, I love it. When I get them back from CGC, I'll put both covers together, and you see how great they made this, right? Here's another book I got from J Blitz. He said this was near mint, and there's no doubt in my mind that this will be in the high near mints. That right there does not affect the book, did not go into the book. Yeah, I could definitely see that. It could use a cleaning, but that can come out. I could definitely say this is near mint without a shadow of a doubt. I might get a very, very nice grade on that book, you know. So those are the books I'm going to be sending out. Those are, I think, 21 or no, I think those are 22 books. And then these books, this is one I got graded a long time ago. It was a 30 center and never been pressed. I'm going to send this one out to get pressed because it just looks phenomenal. This is one of the lowest printings. See that right there? That's how I know this won't come back a 9.8. But it can come back a 9.4. I could see it come back a 9.4 with that, with a pressing and a cleaning. But this might be the lowest printed book of the Eternals Kirby run. Even lower printed than the price variant for #1. See all of that? That can be pressed out, and this could be clean because it's a little bit dirty. So I'm pretty hopeful. Ooh, that's staple though. I'm gonna say it's a little rusty. Wonder what they could do with that. I'm gonna send this one out. I mean, I want a new case for it regardless. So I'm gonna send this one out and hope to get a 9.4 on this. You know, that's the first Celestials, first appearance of the Celestials, and the first appearance of Ajax. But Celestials are great characters, kind of like Galactus. Well, maybe not exactly like Galactus, but definitely power level is right up there with them. And I wanted to show these books because, look, when you submit stuff, even though I'm saying I'm going to submit this, I'm going to submit this because even if it comes back in 9.2, I'm going to have an updated a slab, right? So, but it doesn't guarantee me that I'm gonna get a 9.4. I'm not saying that, and you shouldn't be just submitting stuff because you think, oh, I'm gonna submit this and it'll come back a 9.6. That's wrong. Absolutely wrong. You might be wasting your money by doing that. You have to look like, yeah, I've been very lucky in some of the books. Only one book has ever come back lower for me. Amazing Spider-Man 300, 9.4 to a 9.2, as you guys have seen. Some of you guys have seen it in a video that I had. But for the most part, most of my books have come back higher. Some of them the same grade. Just that one book came back lower. But I look at the book. So say if I look at this, right? This is already a 9.4 with off-white pages, and I look at it. You have to go and determine. Now I'm going to show you. There's definitely at least one 9.4 that I'm going to send out. But you see that right there? That right there, it's color breaking on the spine. Color breaking tick on the spine. That right there, I know for a fact, knocks me down to a 9.6. And because of that little ding on the corner, that might be knocking me down to a 9.4. Now, if I see any other dings like that, See that right there? That pretty much tells me this cannot go any higher than a 9.4, even though this hasn't been pressed. It cannot. There's no way in hell this is going to go higher than a 9.4. So if I send this out to get, and you see that right there? That's also not centered, right? Because when they cut this the centering that you should not be seeing that line, right? Still a nice looking book. Definitely a 9.4, you know. For sure this is a 9.4, but I do not believe that this will get a 9.6, so I'm not going to be wasting my $30 to send this one in to get regraded. I'm not doing that. Let's look at the one with this one with white pages. I think I'd have another one with white pages, but there is definitely one that I think I can get a 9.8 on. All right, so see this one? That's not so bad right there. 9.4 white pages. That's a pretty clean cover right there. You see that? That's a clean spine. This is a candidate without a shadow of a doubt to go much higher. This might be a candidate for a 9.8. Let's look at the back. Ooh. Oof. Okay. Scratch the 9.8. You don't see that over here on the other side here. This has to be somebody bending it. They turn the pages. Yeah, definitely not a 9.8. Can it be a 9.6 with that? That's the question. Ooh, this is why you got to go through your books, guys. You send this out to get graded. Yeah, see how beautiful that front looks? And you know what? The spine looks freaking phenomenal. That spine is phenomenal. Yeah, it's a little bit off center. But that right there, can that bring it, if it gets pressed and cleaned? That's color breaking. It's white, but it's color breaking. That's the only flaw this book has. That's it. I would be taking a chance sending this in. Waste my $30. It's a possibility this could get a 9.6. Definitely not going to get a 9.8 on that. But I might be able to get a 9.6 if they're able to press it, how good that presser does. Off-white to white. It's another 9.4. Oh, by the way, this is one of those books like the Amazing Spider-Man 300 that I've talked about, that I've sent at least 50 of these babies. That's a clean spine. I've sent at least 50 of these out to CGC to get graded, and I've never gotten a 9.8. At least I got one 9.8 from Amazing 300. I've never gotten a 9.8 on this. Now, I have 4 9.6s currently with CGC right now. I'm looking for that 9.8, and all of them are 9.8 candidates. And you know what? This one looks pretty nice. I bet there'll be something in the back cover on this as well, because the front looks spectacular. All right, let's look at the back. See what the issues are on the back. All right, so right off the bat, we're going to see that it is not cut properly. But that just has to do with centering more than anything else. That just has to do with centering. But it's not centered properly. Either way, though, it's still pretty freaking nice. See that? A little bit of staining. I might send this one out. See that staining? That could be cleaned out. I can probably, yeah, you know what? That could be, that's not so bad. That could be pressed out. That's definitely a flaw that's not coming out. That'll take it off of the 9.8. That might be able to come out. And all of that foxing that you see there, all of that foxing can come out, and all of that can be pressed. So it has some very minor flaws. I happen to think that this is a good candidate for a 9.6. Could stay a 9.4, but I think this one is going back to CGC. We'll put that one up there. That one's going back to CGC for sure. Let's look at another 9.4. This one's a 9.4 with white pages. I don't expect everybody to stick around for this, by the way. That thing right there on the corner, it's not that bad. I could see CGC overlooking, well, maybe not taking too much for that. I think that right there is a little bit more because it's spine ticks. As minor as they are, you actually can't see them without the phone. Like if I'm looking at it like without the phone like that, like magnifying it, I can't see it. With the phone though, you could see that it magnifies that. Is that the cover? I think that might be the cover. I think that's the way they cut the cover. Nice corners though. This one's tricky. This one is tricky. I don't know if it's a pretty nice spine. I mean, pretty nice corners in the spine and good colors too. Not as dirty. A little something going on right there, but that's not much. That could be cleaned out. I might send this one in too. That could be pressed. I could see that being pressed. You know what? We're gonna send that one too. Ooh! Okay. Alright, 9.0. 9.0. Not bad. Not bad. Nice cover. Little cleaning. Needs a little cleaning. I'm going to be sending this one out too. So far we got 2 of them that are probably going to go up for sale soon. And we got 3 that are going to be sent back out. This one's going to be sent back out to CGC. This is going to have something in the back cover for sure for it to be a 9. There it is right here. That's a lot of staining right there. Yep, this book needs cleaning. You see all of that? That could easily bring this down to a 9.0. That's just dirt inside the case. Not centered properly, obviously. But not a bad looking spine. Little dings there that could be pressed. This is a very nice candidate. Big time. This is a nice candidate. This can go from a 9.0 to a 9.6. There's no doubt in my mind on that. That's a lot of staining on this book, and if they do a nice job with it, I can get a 9.6 on that. So far we got 1, 2, 3 that are going back. 2 of them that I don't think can go any higher, and then a 9.2. Yeah, this one has big time centering problems. More than likely this one will remain. This one's going to remain a 9.2, because when you press a book like this, you have a danger of that staple popping out. See how the centering is all off whack? Not a bad look. Look at that. CGC left a hair inside of that. Is that hair? That's somebody's hair, man. Then they closed the slab right on top of it. Whatever, dude. Alright, let's see. A little bit of a printing tear right there. Yeah, for a fact, this is gonna remain a 9.2. Let's see here. Yeah, bad centering job. Big time. Now you could see the centering right there. See where it's cut? That's when they cut the print. Yeah, I mean, it could be pressed and it could look better pressed. And a cleaning would do it nice, but I don't think it'll go up to a 9.4. That hair is really bothering me. That hair, does that go? Yeah, it goes out to this side. See that? That's freaking nasty, man. That's nasty. But anyway, this could definitely I gotta figure out a way to take that hair out. CGC sure ain't gonna do it for free. Alright, and then here's another book. This one I'm definitely sending whether it comes back a 9.4 or not. I wanted to look at it though to see if I can get a better. You know what? This one can come back a 9.6 probably. I looked at it before, but not with the phone, and it looked pretty nice. Not centered properly, for sure. I picked this up at a bargain price. I picked this one up on eBay. CBCS. 9.6. This is the Canadian price variant. But CBCS has some slabs that I can't stand. I hate these slabs. They're really awful slabs. Look at this. When you get a CBCS slab, look at the side of it, because a lot of times they're going to be cracked. See that? That looks like a crack to me. It's instead of, and this is a book that I want to keep myself, right? This is The Origin of Galactus. This is a book from 1983. John Byrne art. And they took this story from books, from the Thor books actually, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and they added some new pages to this book. So it's looked at as a true origin story for Galactus, and it's not entirely a reprint because it has added pages to it. But this one, you know what? If it can remain a CGC 9.6, it's actually worth more as a CGC 9.6 and a CBCS. As much as people that are CBCS fans don't want to hear that, it's the truth. People are willing to pay more for CGC than they are for CBCS, even if it's fractionally more. But yeah, that's going to be my submission, guys, to CGC. I think I have 26 books here. I'm going to have to decide which one I'm going to leave out, because these slabs are going to be put in there. I'll probably leave out one of the Genesis books. But anyway, that's it, guys. That's it. Remember, if you see a book on eBay by MyComicBookShop.com, go to MyComicBookShop.com and look up that book, and I guarantee you're going to see that same book there for less price. You save money that way. All right? Later.